Hi, everyone. I am here with John from Flint, Michigan, and he was one of our 30-day challenge participants. And he has been using pine pollen for a while now, but I'm going to get him to share his story and how he was able to improve the results even after being a long-time pine pollen user by making some adjustments to his routine. So, John, welcome. Thanks for sharing your story today.
Thank
What would
you.
you like to share about the 30-day challenge experience and overall why you love pine pollen?
The reason why I love pine pollen is from being a stay-at-home dad to a 3-year-old kid at 45. I need as much energy as I can get. And the boost in energy is not the reason why I started taking the pine pollen tincture, but that's the reason why I've kept taking it. I feel like it's giving me a little bit of added muscle tone. It gives me a big boost in my energy, and it just helps my overall well-being. I think the 30-day challenge has been a huge help to me for all of the extra health tips that Dr. Saeed has given us each week. I've tried to stay consistent with doing everything that he recommended, and I think it's done great for my overall health.
So, what was the dose that you were taking before the 30-day challenge?
Initially I was taking between 1 and 2 milliliters per day, Monday through Friday. Some days I would forget, which the 30-day challenge actually helped me. I made a sheet and logged how much I took and what time I took it every day, Monday through Friday. So that helped me to keep my consistency. But I also was taking the gold label tincture, which is 50% stronger than the regular tincture that I would take. I would normally alternate one bottle of the lodgepole tincture, and then when that was gone, then I would take the what is the other one?
Ponderosa?
Ponderosa, yep. So I would usually Monday through Friday, I would take 1 to 2 milliliters. Lately, I've been taking 2 milliliters, but I would alternate back and forth between the lodgepole and the Ponderosa. Was my normal routine for the past 3 years.
So, for the 30-day challenge, you decided to try the new tincture that was 50% stronger.
Yep. And I was also taking the gold label pine pollen, which I normally don't take the pine pollen, so that was an added boost to the effects that I was getting from it. And I
Okay.
have great news. I've only used about half of the lodgepole pine pollen soap, and my rash is probably about 50% better. So that's helping me. Using that soap is helping me. I think it's adding like a benefit of using like a topical steroid from the pollen being in the soap.
Amazing. Yeah. And just the fact that there's no added like chemicals or fragrance or anything to irritate the skin as well. It's quite a simple formulation, like all natural.
Yeah. I have very sensitive skin. A lot of stuff, a lot of like lotions and creams that you would buy at the grocery store. I can't use none of that stuff.
Oh, that's so great. I'll definitely be telling Sheila your success story with the soap.
Yeah, it's a great product.
So with what what is the greatest benefit do you think with the gold label? Like, did you feel a difference or did you notice any other improvements in your
I
health?
feel it's strong. I can tell that it's stronger. Like you can tell the taste of it that it's stronger.
And do you take it typically in the morning on an empty stomach? Hold it under your tongue? Like, how are
I
you?
hold it I hold it under my tongue until it feels like there's no more there.
Okay. And so your 2 meals, do you take it like 2 meals right away, or do you break up the?
No, I usually split it apart. I mean, there was one day that I was like, oh, I forgot to take it. I'm going to be gone. So I just took 2 milliliters at once. But normally I'll split it up. And I just vary the dose depending on how I feel. Like if I'm
Mhm.
feeling tired, maybe I'll take 3 milliliters of it
Yeah.
to get an extra boost.
Oh, that's great. And so do you think that your do you feel the testosterone levels in your body improving? Like, how can
Yeah,
you
I believe
tell?
that it does. I mean, I'm from the whole time that I've been taking this, I feel like it's given me like an added muscle tone without doing the exercise or weightlifting that you would normally need to do that.
Wow. So are you quite, I guess probably with your lifestyle, with your child that you're caring for, you don't have a lot of time to hit the gym or exercise, focusing on your self-care.
No, I have a lot of time to be cooking, cleaning, doing laundry and dishes. I try to take the kid for a walk every day that it's nice out. It used to be the goal was to tire him out so he would take a nap, but it only seems to be working on me because he doesn't get tired. We'll go and walk. For a 3-year-old kid, he'll walk. This is what we did the last 3 days. 3 days ago, we went for a 2 mile walk. 2 days ago, we went for a 3 mile walk. And yesterday, we went to the zoo and probably walked at least 5 miles.
Wow.
So in the last 3 days, we've walked probably 10 miles or more.
And he has like little legs.
He's got strong legs.
Well, it sounds like he has a lot of energy and he's a pretty healthy kid. And
Yep.
being a boy too, like they have a lot more energy, so it is a little challenging. You got to get him one of those what I did for my child is I got that little trampoline.
He's got that. It's
Oh
right
yeah,
in the
and they
living
just
room
bounce
with the
all day.
handle. Yep. Right in front of, if he's watching
The
TV, he can
TV,
jump
yeah.
on the trampoline and watch TV.
I find it helps like right before bed, I get him to jump. Okay, so what are you incorporating moving forward? Like, how are you going to do your maintenance program?
I think once I'm done with the gold label tincture, I think I'm gonna go back to using alternating back and forth every couple of months, the lodgepole and the ponderosa. And I'm going to continue to do all of the tips that Dr. Saeed gave me. I mean, I can't do all of them every day, but I'm trying to stick to not eating the 4 hours before bed. In the days that I've done that, like I can feel, like he said, like your inflammation is reduced when you don't eat right before you go to bed. I'm doing the breath work. I'm finishing my showers with cold water. I'm trying to stretch. I can only do moderate stretching unless I like exercise and warm up my body, and then I'll do more intensive stretching. I'm eating the pumpkin seeds and Brazil nuts he recommended, waiting for my red light therapy.
Yeah, tell us about
And
the red light therapy that you want to incorporate.
well, initially we talked about it in the Pine Pollen podcast that we've been having or Zoom calls for putting it on your balls to improve your testosterone. And that got me researching and looking into it a little bit. And everything that I've seen about the red light therapy is it's good for your overall health. Any part of your body you can get it on. So he recommended the Biomax 300, which was a smaller light. After all of the research I did on it, I decided to buy the Biomax 900, which is the largest one they make, so I can get the red light
Full
therapy
body.
whole body. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that to ship out to you, and I'll definitely
Yep.
be supporting you and follow along on your journey as you incorporate the red light therapy so we can have some more information about that.
And for quite a few years, I've had like mild kidney discomfort. I can always tell if I'm feeling it and I drink a lot of water, it usually helps it to feel better. So I think his recommendation of drinking, Dr. Saeed's recommendation of drinking 2 cups of water as soon as you wake up, I think that's really helped me. Because I will get up and I've got so much stuff here. I will just get busy doing all of the chores and taking care of my kid. And I mean, it could be 2 or 3 or 4 hours, and I'll be like, I haven't drank any water today. I need to go and hurry up and drink it.
And make sure that
So,
you're adding or consuming some healthy natural salts as well,
yeah.
and
I
that
see a
helps.
holistic doctor. I actually just got home from my holistic doctor's appointment today.
Yep.
I went around a year ago. Actually, it was on my birthday last year in April when I went. and she recommended to either use Himalayan, Redmond, or Celtic salt, and I put about 2/3 of a teaspoon in every gallon of water that I drink, and that's made a big difference in the amount of cramps that I would get in the bottom of my feet.
Yeah, I've incorporated that too with my health coach, and it makes a big difference. And even like headaches, instead of taking Advil or Tylenol, just take a pinch of salt, put it in your mouth, and within 5-10 minutes, the headache is gone. So another thing I was curious about for you to share is I know that you are into conspiracy theories. So it's like, what is it about pine pollen that you could trust and believe in to try?
Well, where I first heard about the pine pollen tincture, I was watching a podcast of a retired Navy SEAL and independent CIA contractor named Michael Jaco, and he recommended the pine pollen tincture to protect you from the shedding of the spike proteins from the people that took the COVID shots. Um, Many people have said that those are contagious, and that's the reason why I started taking the pine pollen tincture was to protect myself from the shedding of the spike proteins from all the people that did take the shots. And the reason that I've kept taking it is the huge boost in energy that it's given me. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have kept taking it.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that someone else is talking about pine pollen too, and that you managed to find your way to Canadian pine pollen.
Yep,
And
I'm thankful for it, and it worked out perfect for me. It was right around the time I started taking it. We had our kid, and my wife was off of work for 3 months, a month before having the baby, and 2 months after having the baby. So right about the time that I got on the pine pollen tincture was when she was going back to work, and that was my beginning of my journey of being a stay-at-home dad. So
wow.
it's really helped me to be able to have the energy to just take care of all the stuff that I have to do every day. Because there's really, when you're a stay-at-home parent, there's no sick days, there's no days off, there's no vacation days, there's no holidays. If you've hurt yourself, it doesn't matter. You still have to take care of your kid every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a hard job being that parent everyone relies on,
It
cooking,
is.
cleaning, laundry.
Yep. And with my wife working as a full-time nurse, going to school to be a nurse practitioner, doing her studying, doing her clinicals. It's kind of like I'm a single stay-at-home dad to two kids because I have to do everything to take care of all of us.
Mhm, mhm. So I think that you also shared with during the 30-day challenge, your wife hadn't been taking pine pollen, but you
No,
encouraged her to start exploring how it could help her.
I've got her over the past 3 years that I've been taking it. She's taking it sporadically here and there, and every time that she's taken it, she's said that she's got a boost in energy and doesn't feel as tired. But during the 30-day challenge, on one side of my sheet of paper was to log the days and times that I'm taking it, and then I also on the other side she recorded it. So she took it pretty consistently. She missed maybe 3 days out of the 4 weeks so far. And actually, after the last Zoom call last week and everybody talking about how much it's improved their mood, I was thinking about it later in that day. And I'm like, we haven't like had any argument or disagreement for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, thank you, God, for pine pollen because that's really not normal for as busy and tired and as stressed out as our lives are. Like it's helped us both with our energy and with our mood. I can tell I'm in a better mood too, like not getting like stressed out or irritated as much. And it's really helped her, I think, even more than me.
It's consistent that we have all noticed this groundedness, this ability to be calmer and less reactive, also like the strength to like sit in discomfort and be more, yeah, grounded, I would say. So that's great. I just finished having a conversation with Melissa, and we were talking about there are a number of us who are in relationships, and just to be able to explore the benefits of pine pollen, both from a male and female perspective, and just communication, sexual health, energy, like it's a great way to have your partner observe how it's supportive and balancing in our lives. So we're going to try to do a couples challenge. And maybe Marilyn and you can join that.
I'm for sure in.
Yeah. And it's, I would say all the husbands are probably really, really happy when us women are less reactive.
Yeah, very, very, very happy for that.
Oh, that's great. Well,
That's what, when
thank
I was
you.
at my holistic doctor's appointment today, the doctor asked me, how is my stress level? And I said, well, it's all, I'm a pretty calm, relaxed person. I don't really get upset or mad too much. And I said, well, it all depends on my wife's stress level.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't have any stress, I don't have any stress. Most of the time, I just try to avoid it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a lot of us, male and female, right? There's different personalities and different stress levels and different cultures too, like how we're responding. So if this can help us calm down and learn how to communicate in a more respectful way, that's going to help everybody in work,
For me,
personal
for me,
relationships, and also work environments, right?
yeah, for me, I just figure I have to deal with whatever it is I have to deal with, and getting stressed out and mad is not going to make any of it easier. So I just try to stay out of that mindset as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Was curious, before you tried Canadian pine pollen, had you tried any other brands or types of pine pollen?
Michael Jaco recommended the Ascent Nutrition pine pollen tincture, but it was always sold out. And he recommended that you get the uncracked pine pollen.
Yeah.
And I mean, those were the only two companies that I could find where it was made out of it. Eventually, after I'd already bought the Canadian pollen tincture multiple times, I did buy the Ascent Nutrition pine pollen tincture one time, but I felt like I know you guys said you make it for them, but I
Yeah.
still felt like your product seemed to be stronger and have more of an effect for me.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting. And I'll have to ask Saeed and Burgess if they've always made the Ascent product or if it's something that we started doing for them maybe after you had tried a batch that wasn't ours. But Um, yeah, and being a natural product, I imagine that some batches may be different.
Well, I
'Cause-
think I could have experienced a different effect too, because theirs did not indicate whether it was lodgepole or ponderosa, where
Mhm.
with your product, I think one of the things that helps me to be getting an effect over the 3 years that I'm taking it is by alternating back and forth between the two different pollens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for you to maybe have a bottle of gold on standby for those days that you need that extra boost because it is a balance of both lodgepole and ponderosa. But I really believe that there's something to taking a specific species, the lodgepole, and then alternating to ponderosa so that your body can take a break and have a different type of pollen.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why, like Dr. Saeed said on the last Zoom call, he said if you're more of a purist, the 1 to 6 tincture would be more what you're after.
Yeah,
That
it's
it
less
takes a little
processed.
more processing to get the 1 to 4. And that's usually what I try to do, is stick with the most natural way that I can. So
Mhm.
I'm going to be a customer, but I'm probably going to stick to alternating between the lodgepole and the ponderosa, because that's what seems for 3 years it's been working for me. And if it's working, why switch it?
Yeah. No, that's great. And are you planning on keeping up with the raw powder, incorporating that into your diet, or are you more
Yeah,
hardcore?
I believe that I'm getting an extra effect from taking that. I've been taking it like Dr. Saeed said he takes it. I'm like, if he's the doctor and he's putting it in his hot tea,
Mhm.
why should I take it another way? That's the way I'm going to take it. And it's actually helped me to be more consistent. I try to drink like a cup of green tea and a cup of mushroom tea. I'll make like 3 cups of tea, and it's helped me to stay more consistent in taking that as well. The 30-day challenge helped me to stay more consistent with taking all of that stuff as well.
That's great. Well, I really appreciate your dedication and your passion for pine pollen, and just that the fact that you've been using Canadian pine pollen for 3 years, and you're still seeing the results. It's
Right.
amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it, and look forward to continuing kind of tracking your results as you try other natural supports like the red light therapy, and changing, finding like different natural foods to incorporate into your diet to help balance. So,
Yeah,
oh,
I try to eat as healthy as I can. We try to eat all organic food, grass-fed beef, milk and butter from grass-fed cows. I
yeah.
recently started purchasing all of my meat from a local farm that pasture raises all of their animals.
I'm excited to actually order beef from Michael, who is in our challenge. I'm super excited to hear how he raises his cattle. And I was going to say, John West, who was part of our challenge, he strictly only took the pine pollen powder and was able to get off his hormone replacement therapy when he was doing testosterone shots. And
Yeah,
I was shocked when I heard his story for the first time, because I thought the only way someone would be able to use pine pollen as a hormone replacement therapy would be to use the tincture because of the bioavailability and the strength. So I was just amazed that someone who's 77 could be using just the pure pollen and get those results. So
and
that's
that
amazing.
just tells you how much we should question the medical care that we're given now. Because like my holistic doctor says, like no matter what problem you have, it's not because you're deficient in pharmaceutical medicine.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's all that we're really offered as medical care is a prescription medicine that's going to mask your symptom of whatever your underlying cause is. So if you can fix your problems, why treat the symptoms when you can fix your problems?
Yeah. It's been so wonderful hearing everyone's stories. And I was really surprised how many people had very quick positive results. Like, to think that everyone that shows up each week on our calls, I would say 80% of the people that were part of the challenge have amazing stories to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff that Dr. Said recommended to us is all things that we can do for free.
Yeah.
You know,
That
it
was
doesn't,
really important to me when creating this program, is like being able to remind people of these foundational lifestyle supports that help our bodies naturally produce and balance this hormone deficiency. So by from a holistic perspective, yes, you're using the supplement, but these are all other ways that we can support our bodies like for free, because
right,
it shouldn't be something that you have to pay for. And if we all lived by these pine pollen trees, we'd be able to harvest and collect the pine pollen for free as well, like it's coming from nature. And that's the beautiful part of this product, is the earth is producing it.
right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John. It's really been a pleasure getting to know you, and thanks for being part of our community conversation since probably, I guess, for the last 6 months, we've gotten to know each other, and your story is really powerful. And thank you for being willing to share your story on YouTube. And if you've been inspired by John's story, I'm going to put the discount code that you can use in the description. And this is a 15% discount code that John shares. So thank you. Anything else before we sign off?
I would just recommend that anybody that's hesitant of the price of a bottle of pine pollen tincture, if you take it like I take 2 milliliters per day, Monday through Friday. It's around $70, 70 something dollars for a bottle. That will last you for 10 weeks. So you're really only paying about $1 a day to get a big boost in your energy levels and your overall well-being. You can't even get a cup of coffee for $1 a day.
Yeah, that's true. Thank
So
you.
I highly recommend it. Buy it. If you buy the bottle, if you buy two bottles together, the lodgepole and the ponderosa, it usually comes as a discount. That's what I've done. So I would recommend anybody that wants to have more energy, take a chance. Take a chance and try it. It's really helped me. It's changed my life. I plan on taking it for as long as I can, forever.
Yeah, that's great. And we have a lot of resources on YouTube too to answer questions and just know if you are deficient in testosterone, you might need to take a higher dose rate at the beginning, but then your body just starts to balance out and you don't need to take as high a dose. And our product, compared to other products that are out there, is quite potent. So I always recommend that people start at a lower dose because you don't want to be over consuming because then you're just wasting. But once you start feeling the difference, that's where you should be at. And we're here to answer questions and support as well. So, yeah, we definitely have to do this 30-day challenge again because I think it was a huge success and
I
really,
think we
really
should move
beneficial.
on to the 60-day challenge now.
Ah, but that can be so like hard for people to commit to because it sounds so long.
I'm starting my own 60-day challenge as soon as this is over.
Oh, and I really encourage you to do your testosterone test for your baseline before the red light therapy so we can also track the benefits there. Nice. Well, thank you, John. I look forward to seeing you on our future calls, and thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.